Welcome to Weekly Digest, where we highlight the works of ministers of government as they push the administration's development agenda. Last Saturday, Minister within the Office of the Prime Minister with responsibility for public affairs, Kwame McCoy, urged citizens to respect, love, and try to understand each other in order to set a good foundation for the One Guyana initiative. Minister McCoy was at the time delivering remarks to Hindu brothers and sisters at the Peters Hall Mandir.
To extend charity, to extend goodwill to the people around us, right across our society, because it is only by us doing that, respecting each other, understanding each other, that we can move really quickly to the ideal place that we all desire for ourselves, the ideal Guyana. It is us in Guyana who have to be able to work as a people from the various religions and the importance of the religious bodies in terms of helping us to cement that foundation for a One Guyana. Because if you examine all of the religious texts, they all speak to the need for love, for humanity, for respect for each other, for giving ourselves the opportunity to extend goodness and goodwill and charity to each other.
Minister McCoy reiterated, as part of their everyday life, persons should spread love, peace, social harmony, and try to exercise justice and good judgment. He says these are most needed in society. Ministers of government on Monday fanned out across Region 6, listening to the issues of residents with a keen eye to addressing them. Minister of Natural Resources Vikram Bharat and Minister of Public Service Sonia Parag teamed up and visited Wim, Letterkenny, and Bloomfield, all on the Quarantine Coast.
We know that on a day-to-day basis, there are a number of small issues that affect you, like the drainage, like your streets, like the bridges. We will work to address these issues over a reasonable period of time.
Minister Parag noted that while the oil and gas sector presents many opportunities, government will be providing training in other areas to upskill Guyanese.
You have new sectors and the country is moving at a fast pace towards transforming, and we can't do that without also building our technical skills.
Minister of Labour Joseph Hamilton says $33 million will be expended to upskill the human resource in Region 6 through the ministry's Board of Industrial Training BIT program. The minister announced too that a remedial program has been established to assist persons in English and mathematics. He made the revelation during several community engagements along the Quarantine Coast on Monday.
The focus is on people who might have left school earlier than they should have. We have in the program, remedial program that we do for 3 weeks, English and mathematics. So we use teachers from the community to bring people up to speed with English and maths. If we train you to do fabrication and welding, you have to know how to pull a tape, and that's mathematics. Right? You have to know inches and so we do that. We do also basic English classes.
This year, BIT will be offering technical and vocational training, TVET, to over 300 residents in the region. Among the courses offered through BIT are heavy-duty equipment, welding, and garment construction. Programs are also tailored to specific demographic needs and are accessible to persons 16 years and older free of cost.
We go as far as practically to have you recommend to us a trainer from the village, so that when we pay the person, some of the money will stay in the village. We don't impose programs on a community, we look to you to say to us, these are the best types of programs that we think would help young people and that's how young people in our community to develop themselves.
The Government of Guyana and the Canadian Commercial Corporation signed a Memorandum of Understanding at the Office of the President on Tuesday to facilitate cooperation and participation in discussions and exchange of information related to the procurement of Canadian goods and services. The MOU was signed between Senior Minister within the Office of the President with responsibility for finance, Dr. Ashley Singh, and Canada's Minister of Small Business, Export Promotion and International Trade, Mary Ning, in the presence of His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali.
The Memorandum of Understanding that we signed today establishes a framework within which this can be realized. We are extremely pleased at the interest shown by the Canadian Commercial Corporation in Guyana. We are very happy that we were able to conclude this MOU, and we anticipate that it will lead to a greater presence of Canadian companies in Guyana and doing business with Guyana. Similarly, of course, we look forward to greater and closer economic and commercial relations in every other regard, including, of course, Guyanese companies doing business in Canada.
Entrepreneurs and businesses nationwide will now be able to capture new markets locally and internationally through the Stabroek Online Marketplace, Guyana's newest e-commerce platform. The enterprise allows businesses of any size to exploit opportunities in the local and global market from one place. It also includes other divisions, such as Stabroek Travel for local tourist experiences and accommodation. During the media launch held at the Marriott Hotel Georgetown on Tuesday, Director of Business in the Ministry of Tourism, Industry and Commerce, John Edgell, said the ministry is in support of the online venture. He noted that the company's vision is aligned with the national e-commerce strategy, which seeks to increase domestic trade, provide a more efficient channel for consumers and producers to interlink and create employment opportunities, among others. Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation Hugh Todd says the PPPC government's stewardship of the economy amid global economic hardship is remarkable. This was related during a community engagement with residents of Rose Hall Region 6 on Monday. Minister Todd was joined by Minister of Human Services and Social Security, Dr. Vindhya PERSAUD.
What we focused on is trying to keep the economy going. That's why we balanced healthcare with public policy to ensure that we can keep the economy going so that we don't allow the economy to collapse. And we did fairly well compared to many countries within this region and across the world. We're a model.
Emphasizing the administration's handling of the economy as, quote, a model, end quote, Minister Todd reminded residents that government made critical decisions early in its tenure to stimulate economic growth. Some of these measures included the COVID-19 cash grant, allowances and increases for public servants and the disciplined services, and tax breaks, among others. Meanwhile, residents of Rose Hall, East Berbice Quarantine, were on Monday urged to apply for grants through the Small Business Bureau, SBB, to enhance their entrepreneurial endeavors and living standards. The call was made by Minister of Human Services and Social Security, Dr. Vindhya PERSAUD.
Now, if they can use the nexus between the Small Business Bureau and the Ministry of Human Services, they need to take the next step. Now that you're armed with the training, now that you have been also trained in business literacy, because that's part of the WIN program, then head to the Small Business Bureau and take the plunge.
Minister PERSAUD stated that women should take advantage of the WIN program since it offers a variety of courses for which there will be new releases soon. As Guyana revolutionizes its healthcare services, the need for qualified officials within the sector will also increase. As a result, Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony on Tuesday launched the Nursing Assistant Program at the Lethem Training Annex, Upper Takatu, Upper Essequibo, Region 9. At the launch, Minister Anthony highlighted the government's plans to fully transform Guyana's healthcare sector. He highlighted that the development of the country's human resources is paramount for Guyana to advance.
That's the most important component. So if we are doing the other things, the infrastructure and equipment, and we are not improving the human resources, then we would still not be able to deliver the kinds of care that we want.
The Ministry of Health is embarking on 16 different programs to train and upskill people in healthcare services. Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation Hugh Todd on Tuesday distributed kites to children in several communities in Region 10. The minister said the distribution drive is an initiative implemented by His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali that will continue throughout the country to spread the Easter holiday cheer.
Today's initiative is a countrywide initiative where we're spreading love and joy at the time of Easter for all the kids across Guyana. You would have realized today and throughout the rest of the week, ministers will be going throughout Guyana to different and various communities to distribute kites, and this is a government initiative led by the President himself, and we're pleased to do this. We can't give every community, but for example in Region 10 in Linden, we're going to the most vulnerable communities. For example, right now I'm in Victory Valley. This is a vulnerable community, a community that we're paying particular attention to for the youths and the development of youths. And I think it's important for us to spread that joy and cheer at this time. The kids are very delighted, as you can hear in the background.
Prime Minister Brigadier retired Mark Phillips says when operational, the new solar farm in Bartica would reduce fuel costs. On Tuesday, the Prime Minister visited the ongoing construction works, where he noted that it will also aid in the transition from fossil fuel to greater use of renewable energy, reducing Guyana's carbon footprint. The Prime Minister is optimistic that the solar farm, which is in keeping with the government's low-carbon development strategy, LCDS 2030, will aid in the overall development of the town.
It will also help in terms of the expansion of business in this community, because you have additional energy, right? It now becomes more attractive for investors to set up, micro and, little larger industries and commercial activities in Bartica.
The Prime Minister expressed satisfaction with the progress of the 1.5 megawatt solar farm, which is currently 90% completed.
We are satisfied based on the briefing we received. This project is on schedule, and it's expected to be handed over to the government of Guyana by the 1st of June this year. And we see no reason why it will not be concluded and handed over to the government of Guyana by the 1st of June.
A $569.3 million contract has been awarded to Geico Construction and General Services, Inc. to dredge the mouth of the Pomeroon River, Region 2. The move is in keeping with the government's plans to improve drainage facilities along the Essequibo coast. The contracts were signed in the boardroom of the Ministry of Agriculture on Tuesday.
I think when the Pomeroon River is dredged and these block drainage, we complete these block drainage in the Pomeroon, I think that the Pomeroon will, the flood will be eased.
Contracts totaling close to $186 million were also handed to Impolder farmlands in the lower and upper Pomeroon and Supernam creeks.
Now Guyana is leading the agri-food system in the Caribbean, and we'll be hosting an agri-investment forum not so long from now, from the 19th to the 21st of May next month. That means a lot of investors will be coming to Guyana to invest in the agriculture sector. So we have to have the infrastructure in place, and many of these works that are tender out are that will be contracts that are those contracts that will be signing this afternoon are works that are necessary for us to enhance our agriculture sector.
The Guyana Sugar Corporation, GuySuco, also signed contracts amounting to $196.6 million for the supply and delivery of a number of critical equipment, including 2 complete sets of land leveling equipment for the Albion estate. Additionally, the New Guyana Marketing Corporation, the Fisheries Department, and the National Agriculture Research and Extension Institute, NARI, also signed contracts for the supply and delivery of critical equipment and the execution of several key infrastructural and rehabilitation works across the country. Government's commitment of upgrading the healthcare sector is bearing fruit, with the commissioning of a $13.6 million health post in Napi Region 9. Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony attended the event. The new facility will provide medication and other forms of treatment for persons living with diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, and several other health issues.
One of the projects that we want to pilot in Region 9 is something called telemedicine. It means that we can use the internet to be able to communicate with a doctor in Georgetown, and that doctor would work with the community health worker, the nurse that is stationed here, to be able to make a diagnosis and then offer treatment.
The National Assembly on Wednesday passed a motion to strengthen the mandate of the Public Accounts Committee, PAC, by making it mandatory for a quorum to be formed with both government and opposition members present. The motion, which amended Standing Order 82, was brought by Minister of Parliamentary Affairs and Governance, Gil Teixeira. The amendment now mandates that a quorum can only be formed with the presence of 5 members, 2 representing the government, 2 representing the opposition, and the chairperson.
The issue is that the quorum being amended is not harmful. It in fact will make sure that both sides always have 2 on each side. That you don't have to have everybody, but you have to have 2 on each side to make sure the work goes forward.
Minister of Public Works Bishop Juan Edgell, in support of the motion, said the PAC is a bipartisan body that seeks to strengthen accountability and transparency and make strong recommendations to protect the public's purse.
Is there any right that is taken away? The answer is no. Would this motion prevent scrutiny? The answer is no. As a matter of fact, it will enhance scrutiny. If members of a previous government sit alone, examining their own record, that many of them participated in the current context where members are making excuses for accounting officers and government is not present, well then, you know that will not enhance scrutiny, that will prevent scrutiny.
Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Senior Counsel Mahabir Anil Nandlal explained that a quorum is to ensure that both sides get a voice in the meetings. The AG further stressed that enough time must be spent to scrutinize the spending by government to ensure there is transparency and accountability.
We want a Public Accounts Committee that has greater membership because we believe, and more greater bipartisanship, and we are moving in that direction. It is as simple as that. So, Mr. Speaker, I don't see all the sinister motives and the ulterior intent that is being ascribed to this motion. I see a simple motion to change the configuration of the Public Accounts Committee so that it can achieve greater accountability, it can do its work with greater circumspection and care that the work deserves, and will bring greater inclusivity in our democracy.
That's it for this edition of Weekly Digest. For these and other government-related information, do log on to our website at dpi.gov.gy and our social media platforms as well. Goodbye.